What's up, it's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and today I want to talk about the roster that I would bring to World Cup qualifying. So for this, just going to throw out a caveat that it's only going to be a 23-man roster because, well, that's what we'll have to do for the actual World Cup, and it actually forces you to make some tough decisions. And I'm going to assume injuries to Matt Turner, Zach Steffen, Chris Richards, Weston McKennie. Just them. It seems like Gio Reyna is going to be coming back. So will he be in the team? Who knows? Probably. But yeah, just getting into it. Starting off with the goalkeeper situation, and this is a very big deal with the lack of Matt Turner and the lack of Zach Steffen, who have been our goalkeepers throughout the entire World Cup qualifying campaign. So I'm going to be going with a bit of a surprise with the third pick. Ethan Horvath, easy choice. Sean Johnson, expected choice. And I'm going to go with Bill Hamid for the third choice. Now, that means no Gabriel Slonina, and you might be wondering why. He's been keeping clean sheets in the MLS, and man, he's one of the most promising goalkeepers in the world. Well, I don't trust a 17-year-old in goal with one of our biggest games on the line, and that's just it. I mean, we saw David Ochoa in the Olympic qualifying. He made an easy mistake, and I believe Gabriel Slonina could easily make one. Even though he's kept all clean sheets, his distribution has been a little bit suspect this year, to his own admission, and he's going to get better, and he's going to be a great player. Like, I advocate for him moving to Juventus now. Like, I am confident in Gabriel Slonina, but putting a 17-year-old in net, I don't think it's the best idea. I mean, I remember England, going back and watching England and how they failed to qualify for the Euro because they put a very young keeper in net. David Ochoa, as I mentioned, and I just don't feel confident in him. And then it's Bill Hamid or Brad Guzan. I feel like Bill Hamid's a good goalkeeper, so I wanted him, and if it's Brad Guzan, I don't really mind. The only problem with Bill Hamid usually is that, like, he's really injury-prone, so you don't want him in when we have Zach Steffen, who's already injury-prone. But when we have Ethan Horvath and Sean Johnson, Bill Hamid's a fine choice for third goalkeeper. But with Slonina, like, this isn't even telling him to, like, go, you're not involved at all. No, play him with the U20s. I want to qualify for the Olympics. Let's get Gabriel Slonina in there. I mean, he's not going to be playing for us at the World Cup qualifying. Put him in the U20 group. Like, I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. Let's let him play. He'll actually play there. Like, there's no reason to bring Gabriel Slonina to ride the bench. And, like, especially because I have the feeling that Berhalter's not exactly, excited about the idea of playing a 17-year-old in a crucial game. So let's say there's a red card or an outbreak or something like that, and one of our goalkeepers is unavailable, and all of a sudden we got the 17-year-old as our only backup. You think Berhalter's not going to phone Brad Guzan? And if he does that, what does that say to Slonina? Like, oh, you're not welcome here, because he's still a dual national. Like, that door to Poland is still open. So, I don't want to do anything to make him feel like he's not really welcome here. And if we bring him and he's in line to play, I feel like we're going to call on somebody else. So that's all the reasons why I wouldn't have Gabriel Slonina. Between Ethan Horvath and Sean Johnson, I started Ethan Horvath. He's been looking really good with his shot stopping with Nottingham Forest. He's been not perfect with his feet and his distribution, but it was like that over the summer, and every single game that he plays, his distribution progresses as he gets back to match sharpness. So I feel like it won't be as much of an issue. Maybe the Mexico game could be a problem, but especially as the World Cup qualifying cycle goes on, especially by Costa Rica, I feel like he'll be fine in that. So now going on to the center backs, and pretty easy choice for me. John Brooks, Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, Cameron Carter-Vickers. John Brooks, he needs to be recalled into this team, especially given that Tyler Adams is on a yellow card, so he's either going to be suspended one game most likely, or we're just going to rest him flat out. So I'd expect that Kellyn Acosta will be playing the 6. And if Kellyn Acosta is playing the 6, our creativity is going to be a little bit stifled. And it could be like the Nations League when we needed John Brooks to step in and make that crucial pass for us, like he did against Honduras. And I trust John Brooks to do that. And even though he has the speed issues, like, he's playing alongside Miles Robinson to his right, very athletic center back, and Jedi Robinson to his left, very athletic left back. When those two are beside him, speed is a lot less of an issue because he's got a security blanket. It's not that much of a problem. And we need his distribution. He's been just as good in the air as Walker Zimmerman. So I feel good about having John Brooks in this team, especially because Chris Richards looks like he's going to be unavailable. Walker Zimmerman, he can stay on the team as a backup. I feel like he's a high floor guy, low ceiling, high floor. It's decent to have those players in them, but his passing out of the back is a bit of a weakness. And Cameron Carter-Vickers, I would have him in over Mark McKenzie, who's just not playing at the moment, and I'd have him in over Aaron Long. And I really don't get the Aaron Long thing. I don't get why Berhalter's so attached to him. I mean, like, before his injury, Mark McKenzie replaced him in the lineup. Like, it's not like this is like we're losing like a star man or anything. Like, he's, I don't know, okay. Like, I wouldn't be scared if I saw him in the lineup, but it's like seeing DeAndre Yedlin in the lineup. It's like, oh, okay. Nothing exciting, but it's fine. Like, I don't get the Aaron Long thing, and Cameron Carter-Vickers has been killing it. And should we need somebody to step in, I feel confident in Cameron Carter-Vickers because, you know, I feel like a big problem with us failing to qualify for the last World Cup was our failure to integrate good players. If we had Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams on the field during that World Cup qualifying campaign, we go. But no, we decided to stick with what was safe. We stick with what we thought was less of a risk, and the low floor talent that we had, or yeah, low ceiling talent that we had, well, ceiling ended up being lower than we thought. So yeah, I'd want to bring in our best players. Now going to fullback, Serginho Dest, Joe Scaly, Jedi Robinson, Reggie Cannon. No true left back in this group. Dest can play there. I don't feel truly confident in George Bello. I feel like Joe Scaly's been outperforming him when it comes to Bundesliga competition, and he has been playing left back there as well. Sam Vines hasn't exactly been lighting things up, and I'm still a little abrasive of putting in Jonathan Gomez. So I feel like Joe Scaly is a good option. Jedi, Serginho Dest, they speak for themselves. Reggie Cannon, I like Reggie. I feel like Reggie Cannon gets a lot more stick than he really deserves, and like he's a good player. Like, I feel like we're forgetting that. Like, we love his ceiling. We love his athleticism. He's decent going forward. In Boavista, he's been playing as a third center back in a back three, and I feel like that's a good thing, not like exactly a bad thing. He's showing some versatility. Should we have to switch to a three at the back, which is possible, I would feel pretty decent about Reggie Cannon there. And he's been playing a lot of time in a very good league, and I feel like he'll do a job for us, especially more than DeAndre Yedlin, and especially more than putting in George Bello, where he has not impressed, or putting in Sam Vines, where don't expect him to do much. I feel pretty good about Reggie Cannon. I don't really get the vitriol towards him. So now going towards defensive mid, Tyler Adams, Kellyn Acosta. I really wish that Tanner Tespin would have stepped up by now. Well, not really stepped up, because he's been doing well. That he would have taken the next step, I guess. That Johnny Cardoso would have made himself irreplaceable into this. Leon Flock could take a step forward. Aiden Morris would get back to his old self. Like, I don't like Kellyn Acosta in this team, and I'm just going to be honest about that. He's so weak technically that if we put him into the team, which we will, we're not going to have the majority of the ball throughout the entire game. And we're not going to be able to create chances through him. And that's a scary thought, because when games get end-to-end, games get dangerous. And when we don't have our top goalkeepers, and we're missing Chris Richards, and in all likelihood, John Brooks is not going to be there, like, I don't feel great about that. And that's why I don't like Kellyn Acosta in this team, but nobody stepped up, so it is what it is. He is very solid defensively, and he will do a job, but I'm going to be worried when he's on the field. Tyler Adams, he hasn't been in the best form either. Like, he's been basically dropped by RB Leipzig. We've had a lot of players going through phases like that. It is only natural, but it doesn't exactly fill me with confidence there, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to perform, but there's a good chance he won't be at his best. So now going on to the eights, and I'm only going to bring three. Well, Gio Reyna is going to be in the team, so maybe that counts as four, but only going to bring three that I expect to play there, and that's Yunus, Musah, Luca de la Torre, and Gianluca Busio. Yunus Musah speaks for himself. He's been playing great, getting into the team for Valencia, looking better and better every time he plays. Luca de la Torre, he's looked amazing for us. He's been playing pretty well for Heracles, constantly getting in teams of the week and teams of the month, and really looking like a great player. Gianluca Busio, I feel like we really underrate this guy, because the way he's viewed in Europe is like he's going to be a great player. And The passing range that he has is amazing. I feel like we underrate his defensive attributes. He's not going to be great or anything because he doesn't really have that top-level athleticism, but he'll get stuck in. He'll get interceptions. And, I really feel confident with Busio on the field, especially because we actually have a team that can support him now. I remember in the Gold Cup, I wasn't sure about this because, it's kind of tough to say, but, he was struggling because the guys around him, weren't up to his level technically. So, Gianluca Busio, when he's in a good team, he's going to do well. He did well against Jamaica. We don't score that goal without him. And, I'm looking forward to seeing him. Now going into the wing, I already mentioned Reyna, Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, Brenden, Aaronson, Reyna. Pulisic really getting into form with Chelsea. He's looking really good. Tim Weah is not actually playing that much with Lille. He's not in the best form for them, but he's been great for us, so you've really got to play him. And Brenden Aaronson's been looking great for RB Salzburg. And, I'd really consider changing the formation, making it a 4-2-3-1 to accommodate Aaronson, get Pulisic on the field, get Weah on the field. That would allow for more crosses to get Pefok some targets. I feel like that would really help us. At the moment, it looks like he'll be coming off the bench, but I'm going to be looking forward to seeing Brenden Aaronson play. And Reyna, I do have him. I think he'll be coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench for Dortmund. He's not back to full fitness. And should he be unavailable, replace him with Georgi Mihalovic. But Reyna's a better player than Mihalovic, and I'll take 15 minutes of Reyna over 15 minutes of Georgi any day of the week. And something I want to say is, this is it. This is World Cup qualifying. If we fail here, soccer as a sport in this nation is going to take a hit. And that's not hyperbole, because if we fail to make the World Cup again, people are going to check out. And all this hype we're getting for Pulisic, all this hype we're getting for guys who are going overseas and doing well, it's going to go away because we'll be viewed as the team that can't do it. We saw Charles Barkley call us out, and I feel like he deserves to. He's somebody who dominated the world in a Team USA shirt, and seeing a team fail to qualify for the World Cup, you can't really blame him for just discounting them. And that'll be viewed by the general public if we fail again. So, if Reyna can go a little bit, I feel like it might be worth it, even if he does get hurt, because we need to qualify. And I know that might sound a bit rash, but what is worse for this team? Failing to make that World Cup, or Gio being injury-prone throughout his entire career? It's a serious question. I feel like it's worse to miss the World Cup. Okay, and last and probably least for this team, honestly, we got our strikers. And this is one that I've been kind of going back and forth with. You might notice that I left an extra spot for a striker. Usually I only call up 2. This time I'm going with 3. And the easy ones are Jordan Pefok and Ricardo Pepi. Pepi's been by far our best striker throughout this entire World Cup qualifying campaign. We need to have him in the squad. And Pefok's been in outrageous form in the Swiss League. And we need to start him because he's scoring goals. And we need a guy who will score goals. If we were a team with wingers at the level of Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, I'd be okay with playing somebody like a Jesus Ferreira and letting us have a false 9 who can help up and build up play and create chances. But we don't. So we need that goal scorer at the moment, and Pefok is doing that. And especially with how many crosses we put in, you'd expect us to want to have a big striker up front. So, yeah, Jordan Pefok. For the last position, I've been going back and forth with Josh Sargent and Jesus Ferreira for a while. I haven't really been too impressed by Jesus Ferreira throughout the entire World Cup qualifying campaign. And he hasn't been lighting the world on fire in the MLS this year. Josh Sargent, again, somebody who hasn't really impressed in the USA shirt in a long time. Hasn't been lighting things up with Norwich, and honestly, I watched the game this weekend. I thought his substitute, who was an 18-year-old who will probably be in League One in 3 years, was better than him. So, honestly, going back and forth with it, I think I'm deciding on Josh Sargent. I really like his pressing game. He can play winger pretty effectively as well, which might be needed. Should we need to put Reyna in the midfield? Should Reyna be unavailable? Should we put Aaronson in the midfield? He could be someone we can bring in off the bench. He does have good work rate. He has been making some things happen in the Premier League, and I like that. And as opposed to Jesus Ferreira, who If we were playing him as a 10, it'd be different, but we're playing him as a 9. And I don't like him as a 9. I don't feel like he has the goal-scoring ability. So, Josh Sargent and his, 2 Premier League goals, with one of them being really lucky, I will take that. But I'm not confident in this. And that last striker spot, and honestly, the striker position in general is definitely our weakest position. Honestly, I'd call... Man, we have to consider Balogun. Like, if he's available, we might want to call him up. Because, yeah, this is a weak position for us. But, yeah, that's the team I'd go with. Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, Bill Hamid, John Brooks, Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Serginho Dest, Jedi Robinson, Joe Scaly, Reggie Cannon, Tyler Adams, Kellyn Acosta, Yunus Musah, Luca de la Torre, Gianluca Busio, Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, Brenden Aaronson, Reyna, Jordan Pefok, Ricardo Pepi, and Josh Sargent. It's not a team that exactly fills me with confidence. I would really have liked it if Turner, Stefan, McKinney, they were all available, Chris Richards, but they're not. But this is still by far the most talented team in CONCACAF right now, and we should be able to qualify. If we had this team, I'd feel confident, but a real squad, definitely missing John Brooks and Cameron Carter-Vickers, probably missing Jordan Pefok as well, so I can only be so confident. I'm hoping we'll be able to make things happen, but I'm not sure if they will. But yeah, that's all I've talked about right now. See ya.